With the holiday season right around the corner, so are the 2024 World Juniors. Canada is coming off back-to-back gold medals and is looking for their third ever three-peat at the competition. Last December, Connor Bedard stole the show, scoring 9 goals, including an absolutely filthy overtime winner against Slovakia in the semi-final. But when you look at the greatest moments at the World Juniors since the turn of the century, it doesn't even crack my top 5. So without further ado, here are the moments that trump that Bedard magic.
Play clock is 5. Score 4 goals. 3! A 2-home run and 1!
At number 5, I'm going back to the 2004 tournament when Marc-Andre Fleury gifted the Americans their first ever World Junior gold medal. Long before the days of Austin Matthews, Jack Hughes, and the Tkachuk brothers, the Americans were starved of superstar talent. In December of 2003, it was Zach Parise and Ryan Kesler leading the charge. Going into the tournament, every hockey fan was expecting a matchup between the reigning champions Russia, headlined by Alex Ovechkin, and Canada behind 16-year-old phenom Sidney Crosby. But Russia choked a third-period lead against Finland, and the Americans took every opportunity there, taking down Finland 2-1 in the semis, advancing to their first gold medal game since 1997. Taking on Sid the Kid, the Americans found themselves down 3-1 entering the third when Patrick O'Sullivan and Ryan Kesler scored to tie it at 3. A few minutes later, the future Stanley Cup champion Marc-Andre Fleury banked a clearing attempt off of O'Sullivan and into his own net, gifting the Americans their first ever gold medal. O'Sullivan himself said that team's heroics helped birth a new interest in the sport around the USA, and 7 years later, they had an even bigger gold medal opportunity. So for our number 4 moment, let's go right there. Following Fleury's epic blunder, Canada entered a golden age, winning 5 straight gold medals. In the group stage of 2010, Canada finished 4-0, outscoring their opponents 36-5, beating Latvia 16-0. The only team that gave them any sort of trouble was the States, who took them all the way to overtime. Canada then cruised right through the knockout, setting up a gold medal meeting with the States for the first time since '04. Entering the third, the two teams were deadlocked at 3 when Jerry D'Amigo and captain Derek Stefan scored 2 goals to give the States a 5-3 lead. With Canada on the brink, Jordan Eberle scored twice in the last 3 minutes to send it to OT. But in sudden death overtime, American John Carlson ripped one over the shoulder of Martin Jones, taking down Canada in Saskatoon and preventing them from setting a record with 6 straight gold medals.
In comes Carlson with Stepan and Ramage. Carlson in, shoots, scores! John Carlson scores in overtime, and the United States has won the World Junior Hockey Championship.
At least Canada got revenge a month later in Vancouver. At number 3, Sweden was getting really antsy. They hadn't won a gold medal since 1981, and they were quickly falling behind the States as the 3rd best hockey country behind Russia and Canada. But hopes were high in 2012 with future NHLers such as Mika Zibanejad, Philip Forsberg, William Karlsson, and John Klingberg. After a perfect 4-0 in the group stage, all that stood between them and a gold medal match with Russia was the Finns in the semi-final. Down by 2 entering the third period, they crawled back to tie with under 2 minutes to go, eventually winning the game in the shootout when Finnish captain Michael Granlund lost the puck on his shootout attempt. In the gold medal match, goals were hard to come by. Swedish goaltender Johan Gustafsson was an absolute hero, making 58 saves in the game. The guys in front of him mustered only 16 shots in the first 70 minutes, but all you need is one, and Mika Zibanejad took his chance and ran with it, delivering the golden goal for Sweden, their first gold medal in over 30 years.
The Russians, puck died in front of the Swedish bench. Zibanejad in a row. Mika Zibanejad scores! Mika Zibanejad, golden goal! Sweden wins the World Junior Hockey Championship.
But for number 2, it's time for Russia to shine, and it actually came a year prior to their loss to Sweden. After Ovechkin brought them gold in 2003, Russia was in a dry spell, nothing but silver and bronze for 7 years. But in 2011, they had a stacked roster: Panarin, Tarasenko, Kuznetsov, Orlov, just to name a few. But the group stage went anything but well. Russia got crushed by Sweden and Canada, barely escaping to the knockouts. And the shakiness did not stop there, needing to go to overtime with Finland and a shootout with Sweden in the semi-final. So in the gold medal game against Canada, when they were down 3-0 headed to the third, most people just wrote them off. But then, cue the comeback.
Towards the Golubev, loose in front, Tarasenko's back out, they score! Now Kuznetsov comes in. Kuznetsov feeds it in front, save this, they score! Low to Kuznetsov. Still with it, spins, feeds it in front, score! Tarasenko ties it up!
The Russians scored 3 times in a matter of 8 minutes, courtesy of Tarasenko, Panarin, and Maxim Kitsin. Then it was Panarin again to deliver the backbreaker and take down Canada. It was one of the biggest international comebacks we have ever seen and a monumental win for Russia for years to come. It's time we give Canada some love because no other moment is better than Jordan Eberle's absolute heroics in the semi-final against Russia back in 2009. Tied 4-4 with under 3 minutes to go, Dmitry Klopov beat Dustin Tokarski and Canada fans were in shambles. Playing in the nation's capital with under a minute to go, and this one's just better served with sound.
Filatov picks it up. Filatov with time to the line. Ellis knocks it down. They battle on the wall for it. Ellis in there as well. Boychuk looking for it. Tavares pulls it out. Tavares backhand towards the goal. Loose puck. Everybody scores! Tie game! Can you believe it?
What a play by Ellis at the blue line, Tavares at the half wall, and Eberle in front of the net, tying it up and sending this one to overtime where it would eventually go to a shootout. And who else but Eberle and Tavares scored to send Canada to the final where they'd take down Sweden 5-1 and take home a magical gold medal on home ice. Unbelievable moments happen in the World Juniors every single year, but I could only pick 5, so let me know which ones I missed. I'm Aidan Thakkar, and that's my top 5.